Welcome to another edition of the When Hope Calls Aftershow here on JLJ Media. I'm one of your hosts, James Lott Jr., and my better half, Miss Marisa Serafini.
Hello, James. James, get your ish together.
I know. I was like, okay, and I'll tell you after we're off the phone who's calling right now. I'll tell you who it is after we got the phone here.
Who I think it is?
It's somebody. I was like, oh, okay. They would call right now. But anyways, this is live because we are on Zoom. This is what happens. This is live. But we're here to talk about episode 6 of season 1, The Search, and another great solid episode. Again, some twists and turns. I was like, oh my God, don't do this, and then it all works out in the end. And we have a guest from that Hope Valley that we love. Mountie Nathan shows up, and it seems really natural. What do you think about the episode overall?
I enjoyed it. It felt like a regular episode that moved a lot of things forward. I liked how it still ties us into the One Call to the Heart, because it was nice to see Nathan, but it felt so natural too. Yes. They're like, oh yeah, he's here on business. That totally makes sense, and it would make sense that Gabe and Nathan know each other. They're coworkers in that sense. I liked it. It was a simple episode, but still answered some questions too from my previous storyline. So I like that the building storylines and answering them quickly. Yeah,
and also it's funny because sometimes it can seem a little hokey when they do crossovers. Sometimes you're like, okay, they're doing a little winky. This one made sense. Like I say, it totally all fell in the line. The Mounties all know each other. Of course, train robberies happen that go across lands. Like it all made sense. It really all made sense. I kind of like that. So at the beginning, we have this cute scene with little Fred. Sam, the new guy on the block, is teaching Fred how to whistle. I can't whistle, so I've never learned how to whistle, so I can't do it.
But have you ever done it through grass? Because I used to do the exact same thing as a kid too.
Oh, funny.
It might be a Midwest thing.
It might be a Midwest thing.
Or not mostly Midwest, maybe just a prairie thing, because I come from the prairie states.
You do. You do. But Lillian gets up to him, and again, I wrote this down. Does Lillian like him? Because the way she looks at him, it's like she's intrigued a little bit. She feels something there, I guess. But she has more projects. I love she has as an organizer.
Yeah, and like it was very, very cute, but also kind of presumptuous at the same time.
Yeah.
And like, I appreciate Sam. He's like, I was just kind of blowing in, doing my thing. I would love to stay, but I got some other work to do. And I'm like, I just liked how she already wanted him to stay.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. She did. But he's a prospector. So that's what when we were reminded of this episode. That's why he came to town, and so because he was prospecting, so he had to go away for a couple of days. And that was interesting. Grace is going to take the kids on a field trip, pick some flowers, and they want Lillian to rest. They're trying to be kind to Lillian and have her rest because he does so much.
To give her, because we're always seeing Grace work, but we can always assume that Lillian's working too. But that's very nice that like she needs some time off. And what does she do with her time off? It was very considerate of the girls. Eleanor and Grace, and even the kids, helped with that too. I think it's good. She deserves some time off.
Yeah, she does. She works really hard. Side note, we go to another side. Tess, homegirl, is chopping that wood. You go, girl. She was like, I can do this. I never chopped wood before, so I don't know. It looks hard to me. Have you ever chopped wood? Have you ever done it?
Of course. And I'm just like looking. I'm like, girl, you're holding that axe totally the wrong way. I'm like, it's not a baseball bat. There's a certain way how you hold it, and it's like there's a certain form in how you lift it up and bring the weight down. I'm like, you're gonna injure yourself so bad. And look it up. Like, I get it. She had to injure herself. She had to slow down a bit, kind of put her job in jeopardy just a little bit to maybe get Chuck to be the foreman. But, and this might be like my one pick this episode.
Okay.
If you spent, quote unquote, most of your adult life, and we don't even know what she was like as a kid or a young person. If you spend most of your adult life running a ranch, we can kind of assume that at least one point in her life she had to chop wood. Like, and she should be physically, she should have the physical condition of how to properly chop wood, and she didn't know, like she didn't look like she knew what the heck she was doing. So I'll give her the benefit of the doubt. Maybe that's not her job. Maybe she always had the men chop the wood, but like she did not know what she was doing. I'm like, what are you doing? Like literally, even I'm thinking, like, what are you doing? That's not how you hold it. You immediately she injures herself. I was like, yeah, because did you see how you hold it? Yeah.
Shit, hurt her wrist. You hurt her
But
wrist.
I'm saying, like, if you call yourself a rancher, a woman rancher who's doing a lot of physical labor, I think you would know how to properly chop wood.
I would think so too, right? I guess. I don't mean.
I don't know. Maybe that's my one gripe this episode. I didn't find this story or like this little moment believable.
Okay. And then on another side note, Ken was telling Joe that someone's stealing from his smokehouse. And it was like funny. That whole scene was so funny. And that Gabe was there. And when he was describing it, I'm like, wait a minute. This looks like a raccoon. I have raccoons in my house, in my yard, so I know raccoons. And I was like, mm-hmm. And they were all out. Again, they're infusing humor in the town. It feels like it's more humor than Hope Valley to me. Like, it's just more humor.
Yeah. There's more witty dialogue, and I kind of love it.
Me too. Me too.
But also, then I think it's funny that like they have no jurisdiction over animals.
Over animals, and I love that. Lily and Chuck talk, which I always like when they talk because they grew up together, and so it's funny. This episode illustrates more of that too. Later on, when they're like talking, they grew up together. And Nathan Grant shows up. We know Nathan from When Called to Heart from Hope Valley. And looking for a train robber, actually. And okay, so here's my deal. When they put up the sign, I know it's a drawing. It's not, it's not a picture. It didn't look like Sam to me. I'm sorry. He just had a beard. His face was fuller.
Beard. The cheeks were fuller.
Yeah.
The face was longer. It's a mock-up rendering that doesn't mean an actual, definitive picture of someone. Because I wrote. Beard doesn't mean like that was so unfair to Sam. Like the only thing they had in common was a beard. Really? I mean, James, you have hair. I have hair, but do we look alike? No. No,
not at all. And so that's why I wrote down, I don't think it looked like him. I'm like, no. So a train robber, he was following, has been gone for 3 days. Sam came there 3 days ago. The robber's missing the top part of one of its fingers. Sam's been wearing bandages and gloves. And this is what Lillian is telling him, kind of. So this is important to the story because it was like she's not really telling on Sam, and I don't think she really believes Sam was guilty. But it was kind of like she's going like the rest of them going, well, he did, it was kind of adding up a little bit. And then Chuck asked about Grace, of course, his girl. That's all he cared about right now, is about his girl. He's like, where is she? And what's she doing? And he goes after her. And I thought that was kind of cool.
Like an immediate protective mode. And even Gabe went into protective mode of Lillian.
Mm-hmm. He did. And then,
buddy, you need a head count.
Mm-hmm. He did. And then meanwhile, Tess sees Maggie, and Nurse Maggie is telling her, she sees her yawning, she's tired. That she's working again. It's back to that whole ranch and foreman thing. That's exactly what it goes back to. And it's like you could have hurt yourself. Like you really could have hurt yourself. I think the same thing.
It's like you're overworking yourself because you're too stubborn to hire someone else who's not your son as the foreman. So you're taking up on all the duties and stuff. You're the one doing it, and only because you want your son. Like, girl, you've already injured yourself. You can't keep going on like this.
I know. It was crazy. And so apparently the robber blew up a rail line. So that's why he lost part of the finger. Like, haha. And then so they go looking through the cottage. Our first time seeing the inside of the cottage and everything. Nice sized cottage. Okay, it's got a nice size, whatever. But they don't find any. They find a empty box of dynamite, of course. And I wrote down, no! That's what I wrote. Like, no!
But I feel like you're really going to blow up a robbery with dynamite. Why bring the dynamite box back with you?
And it was empty, folks. It was empty. But
but why waste the time and effort bringing the dynamite box back with you? I would just throw the diamond and then throw the box with
Yeah,
it.
right.
You get rid of the evidence. Why bring it back with you? So again, one of those things. I'm like, it can't be Sam. Why would he have the dynamite box still on him?
And a map. They have a map. So Chuck finds Grace. There's a fugitive. Get your flowers. You gotta stop picking. That's fine. Meanwhile, there's a little side little plot that comes out. Maggie has to go for a crowbar. I was like, whistling. I was like, oh.
First, she's cleaning.
Yes. Oh, yes.
She finds some speck, and I'm like, I actually had to pause it. I'm like, what the heck is she looking at? I had to pause it, and it looked like a couple things came to mind. It looked like paint chips of something, and it looked like silver. And then they're like, it could be gold dust. Sorry, not to jump ahead. I'm like, that's like gold, but looked like something questionably valuable.
Well, okay. Well, because this storyline it's actually not that big of a storyline. They went looking for gold. Basically, there might be some gold underneath the infirmary. Nosy Pearl gets involved, and the three of them decide to make a pact to, like, if they find the gold, they'll split it 3 ways. Right. And it's funny because
I actually like this dynamic because it was actually kind of fun, and I didn't expect like a friendship out of these 3
at all. I mean, Maggie and Pearl especially really made a friendship out of this. I mean, it was like, okay, we'll never put those 2 together, but sure, why not?
But also, it was nice to see a fun side of Pearl because we've only seen her gossipy side. But now to say that, like, she's a mother, she of her child or children. She also cooks. And she seems like a fun person just to have around. Yep. So she gossips, but also just her demeanor, she seems like a fun person.
She could be, yeah, she could be. But it's interesting. But see, they keep throwing Joe and Maggie together, and I know you don't see anything between them, do you? You just see them as friends. They keep being thrown together. It seems like.
No, they're really trying. I'm just, maybe it's like I'm not feeling it yet.
Oh, okay. Makes sense.
I know what they're trying to do, but I'm just not feeling it.
But you see, they're always being thrown together. Those 2 characters are always being thrown together.
I know. They're trying to establish all the relationships on the show, and they're establishing those 2, but I'm just not feeling it.
I wouldn't be upset if they were just friends. If they formed this 3 kind of friendship. The town folk, they all do stuff together. I wouldn't be opposed to that. But I mean, it's just kind of funny. Keeping them together. Because they end up doing the whole thing when Pearl went home to take care of her daughter. They end up still digging for gold the whole night together.
They spent an all-nighter digging fool's gold.
Fool's gold of all that.
Fool's gold after all that work, and then he still went to work.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I gotta run my shop.
He does. So Ronnie almost loses the couple due to the fugitive on being on run. So he talks him into staying. He brings the poster into the restaurant. Whole thing of a scheme, I guess, to make some money. And it was busy in there.
That's funny. It's so funny because he almost lost work or business because people were turned off by knowing that there's a fugitive. Then he's like, he was working hard to keep his work there or keep his business there. And now he's bringing this poster into his business. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, you don't want to scare off all your customers.
Right.
But you think it's good? I don't get it.
Yeah, I know. Kind of crazy. So Chuck wants to stay, of course. He's just like, I want to make sure you guys are okay. I don't want to leave. You see Grace start to soften a little bit, throughout the whole episode. She starts to soften a bit. She likes Chuck. She knows she likes him. That's why she's upset. She likes him. So, and he's being really super kind. They haven't had a talk yet. They still haven't talked about who Lucy is or what's going on. It just that she was seeing how kind he was being, and I was like, and Lynn was like, yeah, stay. Lynn was like, yeah, please stay. It's fine. His interaction with the kids was fun throughout the whole episode, and we got to see him. So they were picking flowers. I feel like when I was a kid, the same thing. You put them in wax and you preserved them. I feel like I did the same thing as a kid. It sounds familiar.
I never put them in wax. I put them in books.
I've done that also.
Flatten them.
Yeah. That also.
Do that with flowers and leaves.
Yeah, I've done that too. I feel like in the 70s when things were crazy, I feel like when I was a kid in the 70s, folks. I think I remember doing something like that. I was. Okay, I turned 5 years old in 1974, girl. 1974, I went to kindergarten.
I know how old you are.
I'm like, it was the 70s. Crazy.
But as a so I think it's because when I was a kid in grade school, we had a leaf tree project where you had to get so many different leaves from so many different types of trees. And so I remember getting like ginkgo leaves, willow, maple, like all these different types of leaves, and you had to preserve them and put them in a book. But the way we did it, we had to flat them out, put them in a heavy book like a big Webster's dictionary for days and flatten them out. So that's like the only really experience of like preserving kind of like wildlife that I've had.
Yeah, that's very cool. Side note, everybody, in the 6th grade, I organized our school's Arbor Day program.
I can totally see you doing that.
We had Arbor Day awards. We planted trees. I made a garden. I mean, everybody knows me knows I'm a garden freak, so that was good.
Like March or May? It's in the spring.
It's in March.
It's in March. Yeah, I know it's a spring day.
Yes. We didn't have 4-H out in LA, but my cousins had 4-H in the Midwest, and I always thought I want 4-H. I want to be in 4-H.
Our 4-H. We definitely have 4-H.
I knew you knew about it, girl. I knew you knew about it. Of course. So anyway, so they're talking around the table about flowers, what kind of flower you would be. Here's the cutesy part. Cutesy part number 1. Chuck says to Grace, "You'd be a daffodil, bright, hopeful, and creative." And she smiled.
I'm like, yeah, that's cute.
It works. It works.
You see that.
I would have made her either a daffodil or a sunflower. I mean, she's very bright and she's sturdy and she's like, I thought we one of the two.
Yeah, because you're into horticulture and all that.
Yeah, yeah. Everybody knows I am.
Look up, but like, because I was like, I don't know what flower I would be because I don't know all the specific meanings per flower or like the symbol of each flower. It's like, I wonder what mine would be.
Yeah. And then, meanwhile, Tess interviews a guy, and I mean, you can look at it 2 ways. One, he was very aggressive, kind of, and was very much wanted to take charge, which could be a good thing for a ranch foreman. Mm-hmm. But I think it was too much for her, and I think that was her whole thing. I think she was interviewing him just because she had to, but she didn't want. She still wants Chuck. But I guess he could be looked at as too much, possibly, because she said that to Lucy later. I'm like, maybe he was too much, but maybe he would have been good.
Yeah.
I don't know. Gabe and Nathan. Oh, so go ahead.
Well, she just has to get over her stubbornness. Yeah. Let it go, girl. You're not going to get Chuck.
No. Gabe and Nathan find Sam, and I was like, please don't be bad. Please don't be bad. Please don't be bad. I mean, I literally was like saying, please don't be bad over and over again. Sam has all his fingers, folks. All his phalanges. He has them all.
Yeah,
I was happy.
And I enjoyed it too because, they're like, oh yeah, Sam had bandage, but we never really actually paid attention if he had like fingers. No. It was around his hand, but we didn't like look at the detail of his fingers. I was like, yeah, that's smart. Does he have a finger? Is he missing one? And I liked how they played that. I was like,
I did too.
I didn't even think about that.
But Gabe makes it sound like, I don't know if it's intentional or not, but he makes it sound like Lillian turned on him. He looks so hurt.
Right. Was that, well, Lillian's the one who called you out. And, I don't know.
I don't either. I'm not Gabe.
Gabe was kind of jealous of Sam a little bit that last episode with the shingles and all that.
Yes.
I don't know. If there was anything between Sam and Lillian, he sure put the kibosh on that.
Yep, he sure did.
He tried.
Oh my God. And this next moment was funny. So Ronnie and Maggie are talking, and Maggie goes to Ronnie, "How's Tess?" "Salty as usual." "Oh, you mean her hand?" I thought that was the funniest line. That would be my quote of the episode. Salty. Me and Marisa always say salty all the time. She's salty, he's salty, I'm salty.
I love that quote, but of course, me and I questioned it. I was like, was that line, was that kind of joke even meta at that time? Probably not.
Probably not. Yeah, probably not. I loved it.
Like we now, but I'm not sure that line would fly actually back in the
Oh yeah,
1900s.
yeah. But I love it. I mean, we say salty all the time. I love it. So I was about. That's pretty
We,
funny.
it's like we test salty like the first episode. So
Yeah, exactly. Um, so, here's the thing. So, Gabe and Nathan go to Kim's place. Check that out. And I was thinking, is Kim the one doing it? Like, like somebody's like, no, he has a beard. Turns out they said Kim Newsom. He bugs me. He's just like, he's salty. Well, it's like you're salty.
it was such a relief that we didn't have him last episode.
Yeah, I know. I was like, he's just
nice not seeing him.
He's not a friendly character.
No.
But they find footprints, and so they go after to find the guy. Meanwhile, back at the orphanage, Chuck and Lillian tell stories. Basically, Chuck tells stories of Lillian as a child, so we get to know more about Lillian and her fearlessness.
Yeah. And Lillian wasn't always the perfect child that we know and like today. Yeah, I like that because it shows that yes, we know Lillian came from unfortunately had a better upbringing, but it also shows that she had some rule breaking moments of her own too. So maybe that's a foreshadowing of the future. Maybe she'll and when we've seen this too, when she was looking for those files for Helen.
Yeah.
And this is so there was we see those moments where she'll break the rules or bend it a little every once in a while.
Yeah, I mean, it reminded me of when I remember my daughter and granddaughter were here last year, and my mother was telling stories about me as a kid, and so it was kind of funny. They get to hear more about Papa Jamie and Grandpa. To hear these stories that we were laughing and talking. And she's like, "Oh yeah, goes your father and blah blah blah," and they would laugh, and it was kind of cute. It's kind of like we don't talk about it very often. I don't just sit around and tell stories about myself, but to hear someone else tell a story about you. And you're listening, you're going, oh, he sees you in a different light and makes you more human. I thought it reminded me of that. It's kind of like he's poking fun, he's talking about something she did. It makes her more human to the kids. And I almost said to them, like she said to the kids, nah, it's not good to break the rules, folks. Don't be like me like that. It's still good to be honest. And I did the same thing, kind of like, here's a disclaimer. She's telling stories, but don't be like me, kind of. But I thought it was just so cute. It just Chuck and Lillian, I feel like they're more like brother and sister. I don't see anything between them. Yeah, they're brother and sister. It was cute. Meanwhile, our buddies, Gabe and Nathan, as they're looking for the other guy, Gabe's wound still hurts. And they have kind of like a Mountie moment. And he brings up to Nathan about that money, about the man saying that he's not sure that he caught everybody. He thinks he caught away from that robbery. And Nathan says, I do the Marisa thing. I'm copying down quotes. Says, well, that sounds like a coincidence or a clue. I love that line because it could be either. It could be, and he's saying it with tongue in cheek, kind of like, it's not a coincidence or a clue. Mm-hmm. Like that. Then I love the nice one between Chuck and Lillian. He's on the porch with the gun. She brings out a blanket and she sits with him for a little bit. And it's like I just wrote a nice moment. It's a very nice moment. Well, Sam returns to the orphanage, and Grace and Chuck are there, of course, and Sam is icy. Call it frozen to Lillian.
Yeah, rightfully so. Mm-hmm. When you do all this nice work for this orphanage, and he busted his butt for seemingly 2 or 3 days for them, and just to be accused that he might have blown up a train. I'd be a little cold too.
I would too.
Did I not just prove myself for you that I'm a good person?
Mm-hmm. I know. And then, meanwhile, Gabe and Nathan find the guy who looks totally nothing like Sam at all, just has a beard, looks like him. They find him, and he throws a dynamite towards Nathan. I was like, that was crazy. I was like, no, poor Nathan.
It was a good diver, though. He went up in the air.
Yeah, he did. And then Gabe goes after the robber, and then Nathan, together, they bring him down, and he's missing a finger.
Yeah, he's missing a finger. But during quote unquote chase. I'm like, oh, Gabe, don't get shot again. We really don't need that.
No. And back, they go back because they caught him. They're bringing him back to town. They parade him by the the orphanage. Let them know that it's this is what's going on. Like, okay, that's good. But Lily and Sam have a sad moment. I was really sad by this. This can't be the end of them. It can't be.
No,
You don't have to leave. I'm sorry.
I kind of cheated. I looked at IMDb. He's there for a few more episodes.
Okay, good. Okay, I don't mind that part. That's good.
The last we see of Sam. He's
okay, good. Okay, but she's like, I'm sorry. I didn't think it was you. I just couldn't run out on it. I couldn't just. I had to I had the kids to take care of whatever. And he's just like, I gotta go. Deuces.
Right. If you don't trust me, then what's my business of being here?
Yep. She screwed that up.
I felt bad for Sam. I'm like, shoot, come on, Lily, make it up to him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that
was a Lily.
Then later, Gabe adds his little 2 cents to Lillian. He left. It's probably for the best. Why for the best? She was like, why are you saying that? Why for the best? And then suddenly Fred comes out and wants, can whistle all that. But I thought,
He's jealous.
He's jealous. He's jealous. He doesn't
want another man in Lillian's life.
And meanwhile, back to Tess really quick. She and Lucy shows up and puts her hat in the ring to be the foreman, saying that I guess at their ranch, the brother's taking over. And she's like, I can do it for you. And I thought, I wrote this down. For several storyline reasons, that's good, right?
Yeah.
For storyline. 2 women working together, four woman. Progression. Yeah. And, say it again?
Yeah, progressiveness.
Progressiveness. But also, to be a little thorn in Grace's side, and her and Chuck, because she'll be running the ranch.
Yep.
That'd be very interesting.
I was kind of thinking of for women part. I'm not necessarily against Lucy running that ranch.
Yeah.
Because it's actually probably a better fit than the other dude who's trying to be like really desperate for that job, who we still didn't get a name.
No.
But it makes sense that Lucy would be the better fit for it. But also it just and I get Lucy's frustration that a man was placed before her. Oh,
I know. You know how that is. You know how that is. Exactly. It's still timely today, folks, as we know. A lot of women know that out there. You know that.
Trust me, I've had several men placed in front of me. Don't.
Yeah. Okay.
I get it.
Yes. And I was going to say, and she says, you know me since I was 12. Because you know me. It's a great. Our families are friends. It's great. So, but see, you found out later, she tells Ronnie, again, it was a kind of a funny scene, but also whatever, that she turned her down because she's not a steward. And that's when she's like, stop waiting for Chuck. And he's like, stop waiting for Chuck.
Yeah.
She's being stubborn. She's put her heels in. She's being stubborn. And then Mr. Nathan is leaving and he says goodbye to Gabe. And he mentions, he's like, so who are they again? Mike Sinclair is the manager and Russell Meeks was the teller.
Yes. So I'm glad we're getting names because it was starting to get confusing.
Yeah.
Because we were questioning, we're like, who's who? We don't know.
Right. Yeah, I know. So he said, I'll keep a lookout, whatever. And he rides off. He said, bye, Nathan, go back to Hope Valley. I can say, see you and go back in there and see them. That was kind of cool. And then Grace and Lillian are talking because Lillian's sad. See, last episode, a couple episodes ago, Grace was sad. Now this episode, is that funny? I noticed that.
I like it. No, I like it. And it makes sense because they both need to have their moments of ups and downs. And we also showed that Lillian's also not perfect. And they really established that this episode. Like, when she was a kid, she had her moments of rebellion. And as an adult, she has her moments of weaknesses and in judging people. So it also shows that Lillian isn't as perfect as she seems on the outside.
I totally agree. And then Lillian asks Grace about Chuck. And she says, Chuck's a good man. And Grace smiles. And then Grace has cookies for Eleanor and the kids and gives them those. I want some cookies. And gives them the check. I wrote cute moments.
It was.
And she walks back in the house, and there's a card with a daffodil.
Yeah, that he did for her. I'm like, aww.
I'm all in, Marisa. I am all in.
I really like those two together. I'm for it. I'm for it. And I would love to see them really play with Lily and Sam. I would love to see that too, because I think that would be good too.
There's something there. I'm sorry. I mean, I wonder if they. I wonder if they wrote that or if they saw it as they were writing. I don't know. I feel like I didn't expect it myself. Just going, oh, there's chemistry between them. That's really interesting. Like viable chemistry between them.
The on-screen chemistry is no joke. I mean, that's why it's literally why it's called screen test.
Right.
When they hire actors onto production, they got to make sure chemistry visually works. I mean, you can say lines and stuff, but that doesn't mean if it's going to be believable if you can see with two actors.
I agree.
I actually see.
Yeah, I see it, but I still see her and Gabe too. I see both, so it's kind of like this is an embarrassment of riches. This is good.
Right.
It's good for a drama. Good for a drama. So, good. And that's where we left off, folks. That's where they left off. It was a cute ending, and 4 more episodes left for us to go through, Marisa. 4 more, and then that's the season.
Yeah.
I guess we at the time of this taping, we still haven't heard this in season 2 yet, have we?
Nope, not yet.
So we hope there is a season 2. So far, I like the show, so I'm hoping there is a season 2. I like it so far.
I do. It's really found its footing now. Now we're in episode 6. Like now we're invested in the characters and they have enough storylines to keep us intrigued. I feel this bank robber storyline is the overall storyline of this season because we're already 6 episodes in. We haven't solved it yet, so I feel like this is the main story mystery.
I agree.
That we'll probably get the answers to in the finale.
Yeah, I think it's going to tie back into Gabe being shot. It's going to tie into a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, that goes on with him, like especially. And so I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to that and seeing a big dramatic moment and probably some resolution. And so I'm looking forward to it because again, we don't know what happens. We're watching them now and we're watching them as they go along. I'm not reading any spoilers. I'm not going ahead. I'm reading them as they go. I'm doing it as they go. And I'm just doing the same thing. So that's what we're doing. So that was episode 6 of When Hope Calls. And I'm so glad that we could do this together. I love doing this with Marisa. Marisa, tell me they can find you on the social media platforms.
Everyone can follow me at Serafini TV.
And you can follow me where all James Lott Jr. is sold, at James Lott Jr. on all social media platforms. And all these episodes are on my channel, JLJ Media. That's JLJ, which means James Lott Jr. JLJ Media. There's a playlist for When Hope Calls and a playlist for When Calls to Heart. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel and watch all the episodes. And if you like also to hear them, go to any channel. I think right now, it's up to Spotify and iHeartRadio. I mean, I'm building it. Spreaker.com. Go to JLJ Media there too. Type in When Hope Calls, and it will pop up. When Calls Start, it will pop up. You can listen to them there and stream it, listen to it, download it, share with your friends. And thank you to all the admins on the When Hope Calls Facebook group for allowing us to share this with them. And all the other news that we have with them. So thank you so much for letting us share this with you guys. And we appreciate it. We love you, hopefuls and hearties, and this is going out before Memorial Day weekend, so enjoy Memorial Day weekend, whatever you're doing during this strange time. If you're together with family or not, enjoy yourselves, and we'll see you next time.